Bob Arum says that he spoke to Sergey Kovalev's manager, Klimas, in the past couple days. And according to him, he says Klimas told him that Anthony Yarde and his team have agreed terms to face Sergey Kovalev in Russia, in Kovalev's hometown. Now, if this turns out to be true and Anthony Yarde actually steps in the ring with Kovalev in Kovalev's hometown and fights the Crusher, I will be absolutely amazed. In fact, amazed don't do it justice. Shocked don't do it justice. I will be absolutely astounded, mind blown if Yarde fights Kovalev in his hometown. I mean, it would be surprising enough to see Yarde fight Kovalev in the UK or Yarde fight Kovalev in the United States after what Tunde Ajayi has said and after what Frank Warren has said, because they've both been saying this fight can't happen unless it's in the UK. So for them to be, and it's not just the fact, that they've said that, it's also the fact that Yarde has not been built up the traditional Frank Warren way, because Frank Warren normally likes his fighters to fight at area level, then domestic level for the British title, then Commonwealth, European, etc. The traditional route. That's how Frank Warren normally likes to build his fighters up. Now, when it comes to Anthony Yarde, Frank Warren's only his promoter, he's not his manager. Because a lot of you may not realize that Frank Warren manages and promotes several fighters. People keep on talking about the Muhammad Ali Act. That's only in America, folks. There is no Muhammad Ali Act in the UK. In the UK, lots of promoters over the years have promoted and managed fighters at the same time. The same fighters. Okay, so you need to understand this. Frank Warren has been very hands-on with the way the careers of many of his fighters over the years and still now have been moved, like Daniel Dubois, for example. Okay? He's very hands-on in terms of who he matches people like that with. And Dubois is on course to go the traditional Frank Warren route. He's fought at, area level, English. Now he's trying to move him up to British, then eventually European and world. But with Anthony Yarde, managed by Tunde Ajayi and only promoted by Frank Warren, the route that they've taken with Yarde is very different to a typical Frank Warren fighter. They have kept him well away from fighting for the British title. They've kept him well away from fighting Commonwealth or European title fights. Well away from that. And please don't mention a WBO European, because that's not the real European title. All right, please. So to take Yarde, someone who has been fed a steady stream of journeymen his whole career, who's been kept away from punchers, who's been kept away from his domestic rivals, who's been protected. To take someone like that and throw him into the lion's den, literally, in the outback in Russia, in Kovalev's hometown, to put him in a situation like that, you'd have to wonder, why on earth would they do that? You see, you could say, well, they're just so confident in him. If they're so confident in him, they would have put him in against the Callum Johnsons and the Jose Burtons of the world if they were so confident in him. But they kept him away from all those guys. And now they put him in with someone who can actually fight, someone with a pulse, in that guy's backyard. Again, this hasn't been confirmed. This hasn't been signed, as far as I know. It may not happen, then again it may. But if it does happen, you have to wonder about the motivation of Tunde Ajayi and Frank Warren to do something like that. Is it a cash-out fight? Is that what it is? Have they built him up sufficiently, knowing that he's not actually that good, knowing that his ceiling is not actually that high? And like, you know what? He's got the Kovalev fight now. We've got this for him. We've managed to avoid him having to fight any of his domestic rivals and losing in a British title fight or a Commonwealth or European title fight. We've managed to get him a world title shot by avoiding all that. So let's cash him out now. Now, just because it's a cash out fight, potentially, in the minds of Warren or Ajayi, that doesn't mean he can't win it. Stranger things have happened in boxing than somebody like an Anthony Yarde beating a Sergey Kovalev. Much stranger things have happened than that. So I would not be discounting Yarde's chances because, as you guys know, I've always rated Anthony Yarde's physical ability for a long, long time. Somebody with that level of physical, look, if Anthony Yarde lands clean on Sergey Kovalev's chin, I could see Kovalev going down if he lands the right shot. Yeah. But same way if Kovalev lands on Yarde, I don't think it would end very well for Yarde. So there's still a possibility that Yarde could pull off an upset, even if his own team have basically thrown him to the lions and don't really believe in him. Because again, if it's a case of his team believing that he can beat Sergey Kovalev and being very confident that he's going to go in there and do the job, how can they be so confident that he beats Kovalev, but yet they're not confident enough to put him in against a Callum Johnson or a Hosea Burton or a Joshua Boat? It doesn't make sense. Do you understand what I'm telling you? If they are so supremely confident he beats Kovalev, then they would have also been supremely confident that he would beat Boatsy, Burton, Johnson. So there is clearly some concern in Team Yarde at some stage along the way about somebody beating him. There's clearly some very serious concern because of the fact that his career has been managed so carefully. He's been so protected. And after all that protection, now they want to put him in with a killer? How do you make sense of that? Other than saying that it's a cash out fight for them. And that's how they see it. So you let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Again, a lot of people are going to say this fight ain't going to happen and they're going to pull out and, blah, blah, blah. It's all just publicity. They're stringing it out for, we'll see. If it does happen, of course, Anthony Yarde deserves a massive amount of credit for even taking the fight, particularly if he takes it in Kovalev's hometown. And, some people have been asking for my reaction to the recent AFL interview with Tunde Ajayi, Anthony Yarde, and Dylan White. And it wasn't really much of an interview, to be honest. It was, three guys having a lot of banter and laughing and giggling and cracking jokes on each other. But one thing which some people have pointed out is the fact that Anthony Yarde appeared to be kind of frustrated with Tunde Ajayi and directing a lot of criticism. Some people say he was just joking. Other people say, no, you could see there that Anthony Yarde is kind of annoyed with Tunde's attitude, his general attitude. And maybe Anthony Yarde has become frustrated and said, you know what, Tunde, no, I am going to fight Sergey Kovalev. You know what, Tunde, no, I'm not going to turn down this title fight opportunity just because we can't get it in the UK. No, I'm going to fight Sergey Kovalev in his backyard. I'm that confident in myself. Has something like that happened? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below about this. And, if Anthony Yarde was to win, it'll be a fantastic win for him. He deserves a massive amount of credit, particularly if he was to beat Sergey Kovalev in Kovalev's backyard. But he would still obviously have a long way to go to prove himself to be the best light heavyweight in the world, because right now we don't know who the best light heavyweight in the world is. We know who the most accomplished light heavyweight is, and that's Sergey Kovalev. But that don't mean he's the best. And the same could be said for the British light heavyweight scene. If Yarde was able to somehow pull off the upset and beat Kovalev, that doesn't necessarily mean he can beat Boatsy or Johnson. No, it doesn't. One win doesn't just automatically mean you can beat all of your rivals. No. When Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali, it didn't mean that Leon Spinks could beat all the other heavyweights out there. When Oliver McCall knocked out Lennox Lewis, it didn't mean he could beat all the other heavyweights out there. When Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, it didn't mean he could beat all the other heavyweights out there. When Donald Curry when Lloyd Hunnigan beat Donald Curry, it didn't automatically mean he could beat all the other welterweights out there. Boxing don't work like that. You don't become the best off of one win. So Yarde would definitely be the most accomplished light heavyweight in Britain if he was to beat Sergey Kovalev, and he would be the number one in the rankings. But in terms of whether he can actually beat someone like a Buatsi, someone who is, in most people's eyes, destined for world level, somebody who was certainly a world level amateur, that remains to be seen. And Johnson, of course, Callum Johnson, he is a world level light heavyweight. He proved that against Artur Beterbiev. He gave Beterbiev by far the toughest fight of his career so far. So Callum Johnson's certainly a world level light heavyweight. So when you're talking about the likes of Johnson and Buatsi, when you say domestic rivals, it doesn't necessarily mean they're only as good as domestic level. They might be world level. Certainly in the case of Johnson, he is world level. Buatsi might be world level right now. We don't know. He hasn't fought at world level as a pro yet, but he might be world level. I mean, let's say, you look at the resumes of Yarde and Buatsi right now, they're fighting the same level of position. So Yarde potentially could take this massive leap up in competition and fight Kovalev. If he beats Kovalev, who's to say Buatsi couldn't have made that leap and been successful too? Do you understand what I'm saying? You won't find out who's the best between Buatsi and Yarde just based off of one win. You're going to have them actually fight each other, or get Yarde to face a number of world level fighters if he is able to get past Kovalev, a number of other world level fighters, and then we'll see how good Anthony Yarde really is, whether it was just a flash in the pan, one hit wonder, or whether he's really about his business and whether he's really at that level. So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Bob Arum claiming that Yarde has agreed to face Sergey Kovalev in Kovalev's hometown in Russia. This goes against what Warren and Tunde Ajayi were saying. And, I did speculate in the past about whether there's some kind of conflict between Warren and Tunde in terms of the direction they think Anthony Yarde's career should go. Perhaps Tunde's vision is far too lofty. Maybe his ambitions are far too lofty, and Frank Warren's looking at him like, you know what? The stuff you're talking about is silly. Yeah? Let's put Anthony Yarde now in with somebody who has a pulse, and let's see what we've got. You often hear promoters say this. Say that at some point you're going to have to test your guy. You may have a prospect, but at some point you're going to have to transition from fighting journeymen to fighting people with a pulse. And you're going to have to find out for yourself what you actually have. Whether it's worth continuing to pump money into this guy long term. Because if you don't have the real McCoy, then you're going to be wasting your money. You're not going to get a great return on your long-term investment. So at some point, you have to test the guy. You have to put him in there with somebody who could potentially beat him and find out what you have. Maybe Frank Warren wants to do that right now. Maybe he's run out of patience with Tunde and says, you know what? We need to test him. We need to see what he actually has. I can't keep playing this charade with the public, Tunde. You feeding them all these journeymen and me having to lie through my teeth and make out as though these are quality opponents. We can't continue this charade. We have to test the guy now. Maybe there's something like that going on behind the scenes. Maybe there isn't. I have got no idea. I'm not an insider in that situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's Sam and I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.